This is breaking news from RTV6, working for you.
First at 5, the latest on breaking news we're now following. Metro Police have found these two small children who were believed to have been abducted near 30th and Baltimore Avenue on the north side. Investigators say it appears the kids are okay. Police have been looking for 33-year-old Darrell Shepard in connection to the disappearance of 4-year-old Gabriel Yates and 2-year-old Serenity Shepard. Officers say Darrell Shepard is a non-custodial parent and he is now talking with detectives. But police have just confirmed Gabriel Yates and Serenity Shepard have been found and they look to be fine.
Well, all kids need playgrounds. Special needs children need special playgrounds.
Yeah, and currently there are no such playgrounds for the 70 special needs students at Western Primary School in Rocheville.
Working for you, RTV6's Derek Thomas reports plans are underway to change that.
8-year-old Chloe Sabatas has cerebral palsy. She's pushing the wheelchair of 8-year-old Ira Evans, who has spina bifida. They are attempting to access the playground at Western Primary School. But as you can tell, the going is tough on the gravel surface. A campaign has been started to raise $120,000 for the special needs playground. Chloe loves to play on the equipment.
I like swings.
What do you like about it?
I could go high.
You want to go high?
Yeah, I like going high.
We definitely need help for our children to be able to have a special needs playground so everybody can have the same chance to go out and play and have fun.
On a normal school day, this is what recess looks like. It's inside in the gym with no fresh air. The configuration and construction of the special needs playground is important.
We need an area on the ground that's cushiony in case they have falls. The fence is very, very important. I just want our kids to have the same opportunity as the rest of our population in the school. There's nothing like fresh air and sunshine for our kids, and I just want them to be able to have the same thing.
So far, $38,000 has been raised. Ira's father is fired up about the fundraising effort.
I think it's a very worthy cause. It brings so many smiles to so many different kids. It's just such a great thing that Mrs. Harlow is doing as far as raising money for this playground.
His son has this request for the community.
Can you please donate for the playground?
And that would make you happy?
Yeah.
That would make all these kids happy. In Rocheville, Derek Thomas, RTV6.
Now, the school district does not budget for a special needs playground. If you would like to donate to the effort, you'll find that information in this story on the IndyChannel.com and on the RTV6 app. If you feel like your community is in need of something essential and you're having a hard time making it happen, contact us at workingforyou@RTV6.com.
Taking a live look outside, you can see cloudy skies everywhere. The rain has held off, but we're dealing with much cooler weather than this time just yesterday. So I'm with Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory. Now, Kevin, how can we plan for the weekend, especially with those going to IndyCar?
Put a jacket on. That'd be the main reason.
We're going to need that.
Would you say this is unacceptably cool?
I always think it's too cold.
It's close. Temperatures in the 50s right now. Let me just show you. We're in central Indiana under the veil of clouds. Now, fortunately, no showers within those clouds, so we'll stay dry tonight and a big chunk of tomorrow. But our rain chances will increase as we get to the afternoon hours during the day tomorrow. Rain, as far as temperatures, those are 20 degrees below average or below average. And from what we had 24 hours ago is a dramatic change across central Indiana. Remember, we were at 81 on Wednesday. 52, that's our current temperature in Indy. 55 in Muncie. Other temperatures low to mid 50s. That wind out of the northwest and the lack of sunshine, both combining then to keep our temperatures well below average. What happens this evening? Lots of clouds, but we stay dry. The wind will begin to calm down. Temperatures drop into the upper 40s. We still need to talk about our rain timeline for tomorrow and on Mother's Day. We'll do that when we come back.
We'll catch up with you soon, Kevin. Thank you. Tensions between Indianapolis's crime prevention staff and an organization aimed at stopping violence have gone public this week. 2 city employees have been punished for their comments made on social media about the 10-point coalition. The employees, Greg Merriweather and Shauna Majors, indicated that 10-point was simply after money. Merriweather, the Community Strategic Initiatives Liaison for IMPD, has been suspended for 3 days without pay. Majors, the Director of Community Violence Reduction, received a formal warning and will not be participating participating in the next grant process. Reverend Charles Harrison, the president of the 10-Point Coalition, said he was stunned by the social media comments.
I am just stunned by this, that someone would go on social media that is an employee of the city, works for IMPD, and use that kind of language to describe an organization that has been in this city for 20 years, representing this community and trying to curb the pattern of violence.
Both Mayor Joe Hogsett and IMPD Chief Brian Roach released a statement expressing their disappointment in the social media comments.
How young is too young to buy tobacco products? That's a question U.S. Senator from Indiana Todd Young is trying to answer as he pushes to increase the age to buy and use tobacco products in the country. Young is proposing to increase the age from 18 to 21. He says many 18-year-olds will buy tobacco products and give them to children in schools. His proposal also covers e-cigarettes. He discussed the idea with the medical community at Carmel High School today and discussed the idea of being able to serve in the military but unable to buy tobacco.
I don't think we should offer lower health standards to those young men and women. Instead, I think we ought to be taking care of them. Moreover, this is a military readiness issue. Top military brass, generals and admirals consistently indicate that the disease effects of tobacco use is epidemic and endemic to our United States military.
Young said when he graduated from Carmel High School in 1990, there was a smoking lounge for students to smoke cigarettes or cigars. He said he's discussed the legislation with other senators in Washington, and it has a good chance of passing. In new developments, the Marion County prosecutor has not filed charges against the two men arrested in connection with the shooting of two southern Indiana judges. The shooting happened overnight on May 1st outside of a White Castle downtown. Clark County judges Andrew Adams and Brad Jacobs were shot during what police called a fight in the parking lot. IMPD arrested Brandon Kaiser and Alfredo Vasquez Tuesday, but today the Marion County prosecutor's office said they have not filed charges against the men, saying there needs to be more investigation into the case.
New at 5, Columbus police are looking for a missing 22-year-old man whose abandoned car was found about a week ago around Saraland Park. Since Timothy Duckworth's car was found, there have been multiple searches in the area, but there's been no other sign of Duckworth. Police say at this point they cannot rule out foul play. Tim Duckworth is 5'8", 120 pounds, and has brown hair and brown eyes. If you have any information, contact Columbus Police. We have that number there on your screen. It's 812-376-2600.
A former Indiana sheriff has been cleared of 7 criminal charges, including allegations he bought firearms for himself with taxpayer money. Former Pulaski County Sheriff Michael Gayer was indicted on several charges of theft, official misconduct, and obstruction of justice. This week, a jury acquitted him on all charges. His attorney tells RTV6 justice was done in this case. Gayer served as sheriff for 8 years and as a state trooper for 27 years. State auditors said Gayers owes more than $20,000 in missing firearms and ammunition, but Gayer says he does not plan to pay that.
Tonight, a family of 5 is working with the Red Cross to make other arrangements for a place to stay after a fire at their home near Southport. Indianapolis fire crews got the call around 7:20 this morning regarding the fire on the 7800 block of Broadview Drive. The father told firefighters he was about to take the kids to school when he opened the door from the house to the garage. That's when he saw heavy flames. He slammed the door and got his family out of the house. Fire investigators are still looking into the cause.
Still ahead at 5:30 on RTV6, teachers are struggling to live in the communities where they teach. How one group is stepping up to make owning a home a reality for our educators.
The calendar says May. It sounds like May, but it feels a little bit like March here on the opening day of Grand Prix weekend at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I'm Brad Brown, live with our Trackside 6 coverage. We're bundled up, but it's qualifying for the GP. We'll take a look at some special guests at the track here on Friday when the News at 5 continues.
It's almost time to wear a hat for Brad. They may layer up. We'll talk about our cold start to the weekend. Gray is the cloud cover. Little sun in the morning, and then we keep our eye on shower chances increasing in the afternoon. The full timeline coming up.
America runs on Duncan.
Welcome back to the News at 5 on RTV6. Tomorrow, it's May's first race at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Yeah, drivers will compete on the road course in the IndyCar Grand Prix. And right now, qualifying for the GP is happening on the track.
Our Trackside 6 coverage continues with sports anchor Brad Brown joining us live from the Yard of Bricks. Hey, Brad.
Mark and Amanda, here's the thing. The puffy coat is not being worn right now because it's stylish. It's because it's 50 degrees out here at the track. I can tell you this. Last year on Grand Prix Friday, it was 82 degrees when we did our live shot at 5 p.m. I suppose I'd rather have that. At some point, we'll be complaining because it's too hot out here. Nonetheless, here's the thing. These cars actually on the road course, as we talk to some of the drivers, they almost prefer this cooler weather as these cars perform better in these cooler conditions. A little more downforce. They're able to get some better times out of this. As they mentioned, we're in the middle of qualifying right now. 12 of the 24 drivers have advanced as they do 3 rounds of qualifying. 6 and 6 have moved on. Those 12 right now will go 6 and 6 on track. And then the top 6, the fast 6 as it were, they'll run for the pole here coming up in about 25 minutes. And then coming up on the news at 6, we'll hear from the pole winner and we'll tell you about the field for the IndyCar Grand Prix. Plenty of other things going on at the track today. Some celebrities of sort here, of course, with some strong IndyCar ties. Let's start with Hoosier native David Letterman back here once again. Of course, he is the L of RLL, Ray Hall Letterman Lanigan Racing. Dave here today and part of their United sponsorship Turns for Troops this year, sponsored by United Rental, and this year they're using a new Strong Mind program using VR technology to help men and women in the military train in realistic surroundings without the dangers of live demos. This is part of Graham Rahall's team, the number 15 car, and it'll also be running with Takuma Sato. Jordan King will be running later on in the month as well, trying to raise $1 million for this program. Letterman talked today about his pride in being part of it, which he now has a very personal connection to.
Without the immediacy of understanding what this does, it is just a good idea. But now, my nephew had a ROTC scholarship at Ball State University, and he is a lieutenant, and he is stationed in Kansas and waiting to be deployed. So now this is no longer for me, for my family, an abstract concept that you say, that's admirable, I'm glad to be a part of it, to now it is a fully dimensional part of our lives.
Flying, and there we go.
Great cause. And also here today, Colts kicker Adam Vinatieri. He waved the green flag on one of the undercard races here, the USF 2000 series. Now here's why. Vinatieri is part of Miller Vinatieri Motorsports. Dr. Jack Miller and his son, Jack W. Miller, is the driver in that series. Well, that families go back. Vinny's no stranger to the track. Of course, more than a dozen years around Indy. Can't help but spend some time out here at the Brickyard. We will hear from the Colts soon-to-be Hall of Fame kicker about his association with the Speedway coming up tonight on the news at 6. All right, there goes more of this round 2 of qualifying. We can tell you some of the guys who have not advanced in qualifying. Alexander Rossi, Joseph Newgard, and James Hinchcliffe are all kind of done for the day right now. As we take a look at the board, I'm going to turn. Scott Dixon has the fast time of this group. Colton Herta had the fastest time in practice. He's in Group 2. They're the favorites for the pole right now. We'll sort all of that out coming up in the span of about the next 40 minutes. Coverage continues at 6. Dave First, Tony Kanon. More from the track as we roll into Brickyard's first weekend for the month of May here with the IndyCar Grand Prix. We'll see you back here then. Live at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, I'm Brad Brown for Trackside 6.
Brad, it might not feel like May right now, but it certainly does sound like it at this point.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks, Brad.
Well, this weekend will determine who will become king of the IMS road course.
With the IndyCar Grand Prix tomorrow, our Aaron Lish is working for you with what you need to know before heading to the track.
The IndyCar Grand Prix is here with all of the twists and turns of the road course at IMS. For fans, gates open bright and early at 7:30 Saturday morning. Of course, no weapons are allowed at the track, and don't bring any glass containers and leave your selfie sticks at home. You can pack a cooler no larger than 18 by 14 by 14 with all the snacks and drinks you want. Umbrellas are allowed along with flags as long as it doesn't block the view for other people. IndyCar drivers like Scott Dixon and reigning champ Will Powers say the race is a fun way to transition into the month of May.
And I think for, well, almost 100 years they thought we only turned left, and it's nice to have that mix. It's definitely a nice event where it's not as hectic as the 500 too, so I think it's, you know, much more suited to families.
And this is a fantastic road course, great for the fans. You know, there's a lot of good viewing points, and I think it produces great racing, long straights, and it's just a cool way to start the month off.
Kids 15 and younger can get in for free to the race when you buy your general admission ticket. Drivers will start their engines just before 3:45 Saturday afternoon to go all 85 laps to determine the champ of this year's Grand Prix. Aaron Lish, RTV6.
I'm practicing my ovals.
Well, 8 months after a crash on the track that nearly ended his life, IndyCar driver Robert Wickens is chronicling his recovery through a series of videos on social media. This latest one posted shows Wickens working on his ovals. Okay, it's in a wheelchair going around the kitchen, but it's a big step. Wickens is finally back home in his house after being away from nearly 9 months. He says he is ready to help Errol Schmidt-Peterson Racing at the IndyCar Grand Prix tomorrow.
You can hear one of his biggest cheerleaders there in the video, too. Well, you can now get this bobblehead doll of legendary Indianapolis Motor Speedway public address announcer and former WFBM and RTV6 sports director Tom Carnegie. The IMS Museum is now selling a collectible talking bobblehead honoring the late Carnegie. All money from the sales of the bobblehead will go to fund the museum's operations, preservation, and education efforts. The talking bobblehead features genuine recordings of some of Carnegie's most famous phrases, such as,
"He's in it. He's on it. It is a new track record. It's a new track record."
The Carnegie bobblehead was originally sold at a price of $29.95 in 2005, but the museum is selling non-autographed bobbleheads on its eBay store and at the museum welcome desk for $20 each. Hiring Hoosiers is an RTV6 commitment to connect you to jobs, career resources, and training. An Alabama company that makes pipes and water, oil, and natural gas says it plans to build a $9 million research and development facility in Indiana, which will bring in some jobs. The Valve and Hydrant division of American Cast Iron Pipe Company is forming American Innovation LLC and building the new facility in Crawfordsville. The company says in a statement this facility will help in enhancing existing valve and hydrant products. Construction is expected this summer on the American Flow Control Center for Innovative Excellence. It's scheduled to be completed in the spring of 2020. Initial plans call for hiring up to 8 research and development employees.
We saw right out at the track. When you think of the track, it's supposed to be sunny and hot. And what's happening?
On this date, 82 degrees.
Wow.
I believe it.
What a difference.
52 degrees. So we'll see what the end of the month brings. But at least in the short term, it's almost a week before we get back to 70. I think it'll be Wednesday or Thursday of next week before temperatures hit 70 degrees. And there we go. The bar is set at our average high of 71. And you can see we're way below that as we go through Mother's Day weekend and into next week. Temperature in Indianapolis, I mentioned lower 50s, 51 in Crawfordsville. There's actually a frost advisory up along the state line with Michigan, much of lower Michigan with the frost advisory. For us, temperatures will drop about 10 degrees from where they're at now. Let's go walking. It's a good night for that, a little on the cool side. This is Buddy, Rob, and Debbie Rush sending in this picture, and I'm taking the little guy for a walk here. Temperatures in the low 50s for a while. We'll be in the upper 40s by 11 o'clock tonight. Kevin.Gregory at WRTV.com. Send in a picture, and I'll be happy to take your dog for a walk during the forecast. Coolest morning straight ahead. Tomorrow morning, some upper 30s to the north, lower 40s elsewhere. It's just a matter of how much the sky clears tonight. The wind will calm down. 62 tomorrow, cooler on Sunday, Mother's Day. It looks like rain late Saturday and then for the first part of Sunday. We'll break that down for you. Rain chances will increase late afternoon, really peaking tomorrow night into Sunday morning. Morning hours, clouds around, even some breaks in there with some sunshine. 1 o'clock in the afternoon, northwest Indiana with some showers. We get to 5 o'clock, there's some shower activity. Remember, the green flag flies at 3:50 at the track. They can run in the rain if necessary, but I know you'd rather stay dry. Between 5 and the overnight hours, the rain continues. There are your temperatures. Warmer first half of the weekend, lower 60s. As we get to Sunday, this is 7 a.m. We wake up to some rain, pushing east by 9 to 10, and then by 1 o'clock, that should be out of here, but we'll hold on to cloud cover and then maybe some redevelopment of showers as we get to the evening hours. There are your very cool temperatures starting in the 40s. Not quite as cool in the morning. Afternoon readings struggle just to get to the mid 50s. And as you look at that forecast, confirming staying very cool. Back to 65 Tuesday, Wednesday close to 70 degrees. But if that's our goal, and I think it should be, temperatures Wednesday and Thursday for sure get to 70, lower 70s on Friday. Patience to those who wait.
You need it.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, Kevin.
Well, take a look at this Google Doodle. Do you know who this woman is and the role she has played in prenatal care? We'll show you the discovery she made that's now helping unborn and newborn babies thrive.
Sponsored by Turning Point Dental and Duncan.
Have you seen today's Google Doodle?
You might not recognize the person, but you likely know her work. Lucy Wills is a scientist whose research changed the lives of pregnant women everywhere. In the 1920s, she researched why poor female textile workers in India were suffering from an anemia while pregnant. Now, anemia during pregnancy can be fatal.
Wills then gave women a British food spread called Marmite, and their health got better. At first, she didn't know what ingredient in Marmite helped the women.
But eventually, that ingredient was found to be folic acid. Well, scientists now say folic acid also helps an unborn baby's brain development. Pregnant women and those trying to become pregnant are now encouraged to take folic acid.
Wills was born on this date in 1888.
The more you know.
All new at 6 p.m., drivers treating a stop sign as an option, not a law. Call 6 on the case, finding out why this has been allowed to happen for quite some time.
But first on the Now, Indy, a lot of children are in Indiana's foster care system. Working for you, we speak to several foster families. The advice they're sharing tonight. You're watching RTV6.